Okay, so this is the daf for Tuesday, March 18th, 2025. We're in Sanhedrin 91. It says the daughter, so I'll back up to the end of 90. It says the Roman emperor said to Rabban Gamliel, "You say that the dead will live. Aren't they dust? And does dust come to life?" Now we're in 91. The daughter of the emperor said to Rabban Gamliel, "Leave him and I will respond to him with a parable." She said, "There are two craftsmen in our city. One fashions vessels from water and one fashions vessels from mortar. Which is more noteworthy?" The emperor said to her, "It is that craftsman that fashions vessels from water." His daughter said to him, "If he fashions a vessel from the water, all the more so is it not clear that he can fashion vessels from mortar. By the same token, if God was able to create the world from water, he is certainly able to resurrect people from dust." And the school of Rabbi Yishmael taught that resurrection of the dead a fortiori from glass vessels. If concerning glass vessels which are fashioned by the breath of those of flesh and blood who blow and form the vessels, and yet if they break, they can be repaired, as they can be melted and subsequently blown again, then with regard to those of flesh and blood, whose souls are a product of the breath of the Holy One, blessed be He, all the more so can God restore them to life. The Gemara relates a certain heretic said to Rabbi Ami, "You say that the dead will live." Okay, aren't they dust? And does dust come to life? Rabbi Ami said to him, I will tell you a parable. To what is this matter comparable? It is comparable to flesh and blood king who said to his servants, "Go and construct for me a great palace, Palturin, in a place where there is no water and earth available." They went and constructed it. Sometime later, the palace collapsed. The king said to them, "Return to your labor and construct the palace in a place where there is earth and water available." They said to him, "We are unable to do so." The king became angry at them, and he said to them, "If in a place where there is no water and earth available, you constructed a palace, now that there is water and earth available, all the more so you should be able to do so. Similarly, concerning man, whom God created ex nihilo, all the more so will God be able to resurrect him from dust. And if you do not believe that a being can be created from dust, go out to the valley and see an achbar, a creature that today is half flesh and half earth, and tomorrow will begin to develop, and all of it will become flesh. Lest you say that creation of living creatures is a matter that develops over an extended period. Ascend a mountain and see that today there is only one snail there. Then ascend tomorrow after rain will have fallen, and you will see that it will be entirely filled with snails. The Gemara relates that a certain heretic said to Geviha ben Pesisa, "Woe unto you, the wicked, as you say, the dead will come to life. The way of the world is that those who are alive die. How can you say that the dead will come to life?" Geviha ben Pesisa said to him, "Woe unto you, the wicked, as you say, the dead will not come to life. If those who are not in existence come to life, is it not reasonable, all the more so, that those who were once alive will come to life again?" The heretic said to Geviha ben Pesisa angrily, "You called me wicked. If I stand, I will kick you and flatten your hump." As Geviha ben Pesisa was a hunchback, Geviha ben Pesisa said to him jocularly, "If you do so, you will be called an expert doctor and will take high wages for your services." Apropos Geviha ben Pesisa and his cleverness in debate, the Gemara cites additional incidences where he represented the Jewish people in debates. The sages taught in Megillat Ta'anit, on the 24th day of Nisan, it is a joyous day since the usurpers were expelled from Judea and Jerusalem. When the people of Africa came to judgment with the Jewish people before the emperor, Alexander of Macedon, they said to him, "The land of Canaan is ours. As it is written, this is the land that shall fall to you as an inheritance, the land of Canaan to its borders, according to its borders." Numbers 34, verse 2. And the people of Africa said, referring to themselves, "Canaan is the forefather of these people." Geviha ben Pesisa said to the sages, "Give me permission, I will go and deliberate with them before Alexander of Macedon. If they will defeat me, say to them, 'You have defeated an ordinary person from among us. And until you overcome our sages, it is no victory. And if I will defeat them, say to them, the Torah of Moses defeated you, and attribute no significance to me. The sages gave him permission. He went and deliberated with them. Geviha ben Pesisa said to them, from where are you citing proof that the land of Canaan is yours? They said to him, from the Torah. Geviha ben Pesisa said to them, I too will cite proof to you only from the Torah, as it is stated. And he said, cursed will be Canaan, a slave of slaves shall he be to his brethren. Genesis 9:25. And with regard to a slave who acquired property, the slave belongs to whom, and the property belongs to whom? The slave and his property belong to the master. And moreover, it is several years now that you have not served us. Therefore, not only are you not entitled to the land, there are additional debts that must be repaid, as well as a return of enslavement. Alexander the king said to the people of Africa, provide Geviha ben Pesisa with a response to his claims. They said to Alexander, give us time, give us 3 days to consider the matter. The emperor gave them the requested time, and they examined the matter and did not find a response to his claims. Immediately they fled and abandoned their fields when they were sown, in their vineyards when they were planted. The Gemara asks, and since that year was a sabbatical year with the accompanying restrictions on agricultural activity, this benefited the Jewish people, as they were able to consume the produce of those fields and vineyards. The Gemara relates, on another occasion, the people of Egypt came to judgment with the Jewish people before Alexander of Macedon. The Egyptian people said to Alexander, it says in the Torah, and the Lord gave the people favor in the eyes of Egypt, and they lent them. Exodus 12:36. Give us the silver and gold that you took from us. You claim that you were borrowing it, and you never returned it. Geviha ben Pesisa said to the sages, give me permission, I will go and deliberate with them before Alexander of Macedon. If they will defeat me, say to them, you have defeated an ordinary person from among us, and until you overcome our sages, it is no victory. And if I will defeat them, say to them, the Torah of Moses, our teacher, defeated you, and attribute no significance to me. The sages gave him permission. He went and deliberated with them. Geviha ben Pesisa said to them, from where are you citing proof that you are entitled to the silver and gold? They said to him, from the Torah. Geviha ben Pesisa said to them, I too will cite proof to you only from the Torah, as it is stated, and the sojourning of the children of Israel who dwelt in Egypt was 430 years, Exodus 12:40, during which they were enslaved in Egypt, engaged in hard manual labor. Give us the wages for the work performed by the 600,000 men above the age of 20, Exodus 12:37, whom you enslaved in Egypt for 430 years. Alexander of Macedon said to the people of Egypt, provide Geviha ben Pesisa with a response to his claims. They said to him, give us time, give us 3 days to consider the matter. The emperor gave them the requested time, and they examined the matter and did not find a response to the claims. Immediately they abandoned their fields when they were sown, in their vineyards when they were planted, and fled. The Gemara adds, and that year was a sabbatical year. The Gemara relates, and on another occasion, the descendants of Ishmael and the descendants of Keturah came to judgment with the Jewish people before Alexander of Macedon. They said to the Jewish people before Alexander, the land of Canaan is both ours and yours, as it is written, and these are the generations of Ishmael, the son of Abraham, whom Hagar the Egyptian, Sarah's maidservant, bore unto Abraham. Genesis 25:12. And it is written, and these are the generations of Isaac, the son of Abraham. Genesis 25:19. Therefore the land should be divided between Abraham's heirs. Geviha ben Pesisa said to the sages, give me permission, I will go and deliberate with them before Alexander of Macedon. If they will defeat me, say to them, you have defeated an ordinary person from among us. And if I will defeat them, say to them, the Torah of Moses, our teacher, defeated you. So the sages gave him permission, and he went and deliberated with them. Geviha ben Pesisa said to the descendants of Ishmael, from where are you citing proof that the land of Canaan belongs to both you and the Jewish people? They said to him, from the Torah. Geviha ben Pesisa said to them, I too will cite proof to you only from the Torah, as it is stated, and Abraham gave all that he had to Isaac. But to the sons of the concubines that Abraham had, Abraham gave gifts, and he sent them away from his son while he yet lived, eastward to the east country. Genesis 25:5-6. In the case of a father who gave a document of bequest, or agatin, to his sons during his lifetime and sent one of the sons away from the other, does the one who was sent away have any claim against the other? The father himself divided his property. The Gemara asks, what were the gifts that Abraham gave to the sons of the concubines? Rabbi Yeremiah bar Abba says, this teaches that Abraham provided them with the name of the supernal spirit of impurity, enabling them to perform witchcraft. Apropos exchanges with prominent Gentile leaders, the Gemara cites an exchange where Antoninus, the Roman emperor, said to Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi, the body and the soul are able to exempt themselves from judgment for their sins. How so? The body says, the soul sinned. As from the day of my death, when it departed from me, I am cast like a silent stone in the grave, and do not sin. And the soul says, the body sinned. As from the day that I departed from it, I am flying in the air like a bird, incapable of sin. Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi said to them, I tell you a parable. To what is the matter comparable? It is comparable to a king of flesh and blood who had a fine orchard, and in it there were fine first fruits of a fig tree, and he stationed 2 guards in the orchard, one lame and one was unable to walk and one blind. Neither was capable of reaching the fruit on the trees in the orchard without the assistance of the other. The lame person said to the blind person, I see fine first fruits of a fig tree in the orchard. Come and place me on your shoulders. I will guide you to the tree, and we will bring the figs to eat them. The lame person rode upon the shoulders of the blind person, and they brought the figs and ate them. Sometime later, the owner of the orchard came to the orchard and said to the guards, the fine first fruits of a fig tree that were in the orchard, where are they? The lame person said, do I have any legs with which I would be able to walk and take the figs? The blind person said, do I have any eyes with which I would be able to see the way to the figs? What did the owner of the orchard do? He placed the lame person upon the shoulders of the blind person, just as they did when they stole the figs, and he judged them as one. So too, the Holy One, blessed be He, brings the soul on the day of judgment and casts it back into the body, as they were when they sinned. And he judges them as one, as it is stated, He calls to the heavens above and the earth, that He may judge His people. Psalms 50, verse 4. He calls to the heavens above, this is the soul, which is heavenly. Quote, and to the earth, that He may judge His people. This is the body, which is earthly. The Gemara relates another exchange. Antoninus said to Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi, for what reason does the sun emerge in the east and set in the west? Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi said to him, if it were the reverse, you would also have said that to me, as the sun must emerge from one direction and set in the other. Antoninus said to him, this is what I am saying to you. For what reason does the sun set in the west and not occasionally deviate and set elsewhere? Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi said to him, the sun always sets in the west in order to greet its creator, as it is stated, and the host of the heaven worshipped you. Nehemiah 9:6. Setting is a form of worship. It is as though the sun is bowing to God. The divine presence rests in the east, as is evident from the fact the Holy of Holies in the temple in which the ark, the resting place of the divine presence, is located in the east. Antoninus said to him, if so, let the sun come until the midpoint of the sky, set slightly and greet its creator, and return and enter its place of origin in the east and set there. Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi answered him, the sun sets in the west due to workers and due to travelers. As if the sun did not proceed from east to west with the light of day gradually waning, they would not know that it is time to return home or to find an inn. And Antoninus said to Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi, from when is the soul placed in a person? Is it from the moment of conception or from the moment of the formation of the embryo, 40 days after conception? Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi said to him, it is from the moment of the formation of the embryo. Antoninus said to him, this is inconceivable. Is it possible that a piece of meat could stand for even 3 days without salt as preservative and would not rot? The embryo could not exist for 40 days without a soul. Rather, the soul is placed in man from the moment of conception. Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi said, Antoninus taught me this matter, and there is a verse that supports him, as it states, in your providence, Beku the Tekha has preserved my spirit, Job 10, verse 12, indicating that it is from the moment of conception, Pekida, that the soul is preserved within a person. Antoninus said to Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi, from when does the evil inclination dominate a person? Is it from the moment of the formation of the embryo or from the moment of the emergence of the womb? Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi said to him, it is from the moment of the formation of the embryo. And Antoninus said to him, if so, the evil inclination would cause the fetus to kick his mother's innards and emerge from the womb. Rather, the evil inclination dominates a person from the moment he emerges from the womb. Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi said, Antoninus taught me this matter, and there is a verse that supports him as it states, sin crouches at the entrance, Genesis 4:7, indicating that it is from the moment of birth, when the newborn emerges from the entrance of his mother's womb, that the evil inclination lurks. Reish Lakish raises a contradiction between the two verses written with regard to the resurrection of the dead. It is written, quote, I will bring them from the north country and gather them from the ends of the earth, and with them the blind and the lame, the woman and the child, and the woman giving birth together, Jeremiah 31:7, indicating that at the end of days there will still be a people with physical defects, as it is written, then shall the lame man leap as a deer, and the tongue of the mute sing, for in the wilderness shall waters break out and streams in the desert. It's Isaiah 35, verse 6. Indicating that at the end of days, there will be no people with physical defects. How so? When resurrected, the dead will arise, still afflicted with their defects, and they will then be healed. Ula raising a contradiction. It is written, he will swallow death forever, and the Lord will wipe tears from all faces. Isaiah 25, verse 8, indicating that death will no longer exist at the end of days. And it is written, there shall be no more an infant a few days old. Then the youngest shall die 100 years old. Isaiah 65, verse 20. The Gemara answers that this contradiction is difficult. The verse here in Isaiah chapter 25 is written with regard to the Jewish people who will live forever after resurrection. The verse there in Isaiah chapter 65 is written with regard to Gentiles who will ultimately die after an extremely long life. The Gemara asks, and what do Gentiles seek? That is, why will they merit to live in that era? The Gemara answers that the verse is referring to those Gentiles about whom it is written, and strangers shall stand and feed your flocks, and aliens shall be your plowsmen and vine dressers. Isaiah 61, verse 5. Rav Chisda raises a contradiction. It is written, then the moon shall be confounded and the sun ashamed, when the Lord of hosts will reign in Mount Zion and in Jerusalem before his elders shall be his glory. Isaiah 24:23, indicating that the sun and the moon will no longer shine at the end of days. And it is written, quote, and the light of the moon shall be as the light of the sun, and the light of the sun shall be sevenfold as the light of 7 days. Isaiah 30, verse 26. Indicating that the sun and the moon will exist then, and they will shine more brightly. The Gemara answers that this is not difficult. The verse here in Isaiah chapter 30 is written with regard to the days of Mashiach, when the sun and moon will shine more brightly. The verse there in Isaiah 24 is written with regard to the world to come, when the only light will be the light of God. The Gemara asks, and according to Shmuel, who says the difference between this world and the Messianic era is only subjugation of the exiles, as during that era the Jewish people will be freed from that subjugation, how is the contradiction resolved? The Gemara answers that even according to Shmuel, this contradiction is not difficult. The verse here in Isaiah chapter 30 is written with regard to the light in the camp of the righteous. The verse there in Isaiah chapter 24, the verse is written with regard to the camp of the divine presence, when the only light will be the light of God. Okay, Rava raises a contradiction. It is written, I will kill and I will bring to life, Deuteronomy 32:39, indicating that God is capable of reviving the dead. And it is written immediately afterward, I wounded and I will heal, which indicates that God will only heal the wounded. Rather, it should be understood, the Holy One, blessed be He, is saying, what I kill, I bring to life, indicating that God revives the dead. And then, what I wounded, I will heal. The sages taught in Braita with regard to the verse, I will kill and I will bring to life. One might have thought that it means that there will be death for one person, life for another person, in the typical manner that the world operates. Therefore, the verse states, I wounded and I will heal. Just as wounding and healing take place in one person, so too death and bringing back to life take place in one person. From here, there is a response to those who say that there is no resurrection of the dead derived from the Torah. It is taught in a Braita that Rabbi Meir said, from where is resurrection of the dead derived from the Torah? It is derived from a verse, as it is stated. Then Moses and the children of Israel will sing this song to the Lord. Exodus 15, verse 1. It is not stated sang in the verse. Rather, the term they will sing is stated, indicating that Moses will come back to life and sing the song in the future. So from here, it is proved that resurrection of the dead is derived from the Torah. On similar note, you can say, then Joshua will build an altar to the Lord, the God of Israel, on Mount Ebal. It is not stated built in the verse. Rather, the term will build is stated. From here, resurrection of the dead is derived from the Torah. The Gemara challenges, if that is so, then in the verse, then Solomon will build an altar for Chemosh, the abomination of Moab. 1 Kings 11, verse 7. Does this also mean that Solomon will build in the future? Rather, the use of the future tense here should be understood differently. Solomon did not build an altar to the idol. Rather, the use of the future tense teaches that the verse describes him blame as though he built it, since he did not prevent his wives from doing so. Therefore, no proof for the resurrection of the dead may be cited from this verse. Rabbi Yehoshua ben Levi says, from where is the resurrection of the dead derived from the Torah? It is derived from a verse, as it is stated, happy are they who dwell in your house, they will yet praise you, Salah. Psalms 84, verse 5. It is not stated they praised you in the verse. Rather, the term they will praise you. From here, the resurrection of the dead is derived from the Torah, and Rabbi Yehoshua ben Levi says, anyone who recites song to God in this world is privileged and recites it in the world to come. As it is stated, happy are those who dwell in your house, may they praise you, Salah. And that's the beginning of Ashrei. So Rabbi Hia bar Abba says that Rabbi Yochanan says, from where is resurrection of the dead derived from the Torah? It is derived from a verse, as it is stated, your watchmen, they raise the voice together, shall they sing. For they shall see eye to eye the Lord returning to Zion. Isaiah 52, verse 8. It is not stated they sang in the verse. Rather, the term together shall they sing is stated. From here, resurrection of the dead is derived from the Torah. And Rabbi Hia bar Abba says that Rabbi Yochanan says, all the people are destined to recite song in one voice. As it is stated, your watchmen, they raise the voice, together shall they sing. Rav Yehuda says that Rav says, with regard to anyone who withholds halakha from being studied by the mouth of a student who seeks to study Torah, it is as though he robs him of the inheritance of his ancestors. As it is stated, Moses commanded us the Torah, an inheritance to the congregation of Jacob. Deuteronomy 33, verse 4, indicating that the Torah is an inheritance for all the Jewish people from the 6 days of creation. Rav Chana bar Bizna says that Rabbi Shimon Hasida says, with regard to anyone who withholds halakha from being studied by the mouth of a student who seeks to study Torah, even fetuses in their mother's womb curse him, as it is stated, he who withholds bar